Welcome to this overview of the book, You Are the Placebo. A placebo is something such as a sugar pill, saline injection, or pretend surgery that the patient believes is real. The placebo effect is when you get the same or a better result as if you had actually taken the pill or received the procedure. But could it be that many drugs or even surgeries actually work better because we are repeatedly primed, educated, and conditioned to believe in their effects? Could it be that without the placebo effect, those drugs may not work as well or at all? In this book, You Are the Placebo, Dr. Joe Dispenza poses the question, is it possible to teach the principles of the placebo and without relying on any external substance, produce the same internal changes in a person's health and ultimately in his or her life? Joe Dispenza's journey into the answer to this question started in 1986 when he was hit by a car. This accident resulted in him breaking 6 vertebrae from his shoulders to his kidneys, and the choices he was given were either major surgery with a lifetime of chronic pain or paralysis. However, Joe decided to go for a third option, that he would use what he knew of the body's ability to heal itself to heal himself. But Joe also knew he had to take his knowledge to the next level. He had to let go of thinking about what he didn't want and focus on what he did want, so the picture he was creating was absolutely clear. And his success in putting this deeper knowledge into action saw him walking 9.5 weeks later, fully recovered and pain-free. As Joe's career developed, he moved on to thinking about what if people could stop believing something outside of themselves could heal them and instead believe they themselves could change things inside themselves. 40 years ago, this type of thinking was anything but mainstream. However, research now exists that shows our thinking does affect our health. Some studies even indicate that the right attitude every day is far more important than diet and exercise. So what is going on inside our body that allows a 180-degree turnaround when you change your belief? This effect is most commonly known via Pavlov's dog experiments. In these experiments, Pavlov paired the dogs being fed with the ringing of a bell. This conditioned the dog's autonomic nervous system, the system that operates below conscious awareness, to cause the dog to salivate whenever a bell was rung, even if there wasn't any food. And the more often this conditioning happened, the stronger the connection became and the less conscious control there was over the subconscious process taking place. To consider this from the human perspective, conditioning happens when you associate a past memory with a physiological change. This is known as associative memory. For example, feeling pain makes you think of something you could take to remove it. And if what you take does remove the pain, this solution is reinforced in your memory, and it is likely you will use the same solution if you have similar pain in the future. It is this associative memory, coupled with the belief in the expected result, that allows a placebo to produce the same result as if the medicine had been taken or the procedure had occurred. This is because the size of our forebrain allows us to make thought more real than anything else. And through the autonomic nervous system, our thoughts condition our body to become the mind because conscious thought is no longer totally in control. Expectation arises when you have reason to anticipate a different outcome to the one you are currently experiencing. For example, your doctor enthusiastically tells you the properties of a new drug will alleviate your pain. If you believe your doctor, you become suggestible as to the effect the drug will have on you, thereby setting you up to actually experience this effect. However, it is more than just believing what the doctor is saying. It is also choosing a different path potential and believing with a great enough intensity of emotion that your brain and body won't know the difference between your expectation and the actual event taking place. In addition, the more you can accept the new outcome because you have been educated about the possible rewards of what you are doing, the clearer your expectation becomes and the better you are priming your brain and your body to replicate what you are expecting to happen. Further, when you assign meaning or conscious intention to an action, the result is amplified. Therefore, what you're telling yourself on a daily basis makes you susceptible to your own auto-suggestions. For example, if you tell yourself you're not a good speaker and the thought of public speaking elicits a panic attack, you will create this response anytime you think about speaking in public. This is because just as thoughts are the language of the brain, feelings are the language of the body. So how does priming work? Every time you have a thought, your brain creates a chemical called a neuropeptide. This chemical causes your body to have a feeling. The brain's reaction to this feeling is to produce a thought to match that feeling, which then causes the brain to produce more chemicals that reinforce the feeling. This is a continuous loop until a new thought breaks the cycle. Unfortunately, the same as repeat thinking creates neural pathways in the brain, repeated emotional responses are hardwired into the body. This means the body becomes its own mind. And when the body isn't getting its emotional chemical needs met, the body will signal the brain to make more of these chemicals, meaning the body is now controlling the brain. This is also known as emotional addiction, which stops you feeling more than what you feel because you are locked inside a previous programming, making it even harder to think the new thoughts needed to change the situation because your autonomic nervous system is deciding which physiological changes will take place. And because you're caught in this continuous loop, your biology stays the same, for good or for bad. If you want to change the situation, you must pay attention to those emotions that you've memorized and that you live by on a daily basis, and decide if living by those emotions over and over again is helping or hindering you. To change this situation, you need to create a new state of being, or to put it more simply, you have to literally become someone else. To do this, you need a new reality via new thoughts to create new choices to lead to new behaviors, new actions and behaviors to create new experiences to create new emotions, and new feelings to inspire you to think in new ways, thereby creating a new positive loop. Yes, this is going to be uncomfortable, but this discomfort is the confirmation you are making new choices that are giving you new experiences, which if you persevere with them will create your new identity. And this will positively change your biology through epigenetics. Behavioral state-dependent genes are genes that are turned on during periods of high emotional arousal, stress, or different levels of awareness, including dreaming. They are also the link between your thoughts and your body, which is why research has shown our thoughts, feelings, and activities have profound healing and regenerative effects on our bodies. Research has also shown around 90% of your genes interact with signals from your internal and external environments. If your environment is considered hostile, then the cells cease to communicate and focus on what they consider is best for their individual survival, and as a result, your body's overall systems are weakened. However, the reverse is also true. An environment considered favourable supports routine maintenance and improvements. Therefore, through every thought you think, every emotion you feel, and every event you experience, you're acting as an epigenetic engineer of your own cells. Because the mind and body connection cannot tell the difference between reality and imagination, you can mentally practice a new series of choices, behaviours, and experiences you desire. If you reproduce this new level of mind over and over again, then your brain will begin to physically change, installing new neurological circuitry, and begin to think from that new level of mind. This technique is basically closing your eyes and repeatedly imagining, performing an action, and mentally reviewing the future you want, all the while reminding yourself of who you want to be. This mental rehearsal works as the frontal lobe is your creative centre. It also has connections to all the other parts of the brain, so it starts selecting networks of neurons to create a new state of mind. A clear intent is the start of the process, and to start the epigenetic change process, you need to remain clearly focused on this intent and marry it to a strongly felt positive emotion. In the improved health placebo situation, once the subject accepts they will receive something that will improve their health and believes in the suggestion of better health and surrenders to the outcome without further analysis, the taking of the pill acts as a constant conditioning reminder for them to expect and assign meaning to their intentional activity, thus reinforcing the internal process over and over again. Therefore, the conscious mind may have initiated the course of action, but the real work happens subconsciously, with the subjects remaining totally unaware how it happened. However, we all vary in our levels of suggestibility and belief in what we are being told. Suggestibility combines three elements: acceptance, belief, and surrender. The more you accept, believe, and surrender to whatever you're doing to change your internal state, the better the results you can create. This is because conditioning, expectation, and meaning is assigned to the whole delivery system. Your level of suggestibility is inversely related to your level of analytical thinking, meaning the greater your analytical thinking, the less suggestible you are, and vice versa. Think of the analytical mind as a separate part of the conscious mind that divides it from the subconscious mind. Analytical thinking is the function of the neocortex, the part of the brain that thinks, observes, remembers things, and that resolves problems. The analytical mind works best when you're calm, relaxed, and focused, because if you're stressed, the chemicals you're pumping into your system tend to drive the whole analytical process faster so that you can protect yourself from potential worst-case scenarios. But it ends up overstimulating you and your thinking is no longer helping you. It is closing you off from your subconscious mind, and when you're closed off from your subconscious, the placebo cannot work because it has to be able to work with your autonomic nervous system. This diagram represents the movement of consciousness from the conscious mind into the subconscious, where the suggestion is biologically embossed into the autonomic nervous system. This movement can be achieved through a meditative state, which in turn allows you to condition yourself for the changes you want. Dr. Joe Dispenza's conclusion to his question about whether it is possible to produce the same internal changes without any external substance is yes, because every one of us is shaping our brain and body by the thoughts we think, the emotions we feel, the intentions we hold, and the transcendental states we experience. The book You Are the Placebo combines research in neuroscience, biology, psychology, hypnosis, behavioral conditioning, and quantum physics to demystify the workings of the placebo effect. It also covers the background to this effect, how the brain works, DNA, and studies, as well as being full of stories of people who changed their brainwave patterns, for better or worse, depending on their thinking, and gives guidance on how to use meditation to create the energy state required. This book is a really good choice if you want an insight into the mind-body connection. In addition, the breadth of discussion also allows you to make a decision in regards to which direction you may wish to undertake further reading. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe if you would like to be advised when further book overviews are uploaded.